What to do if your workers' compensation check is late. So let's say you're an injured worker, you don't have an attorney, the insurance company has been sending checks to you, and now the check hasn't come through. Something has happened. You don't know what, but the check is late. You were expecting it, let's say Monday, it's now Wednesday, there's still no check. What do? You can try to resolve it informally. The best thing to do, call the adjuster, email the adjuster if you have an email address. Usually you won't, but call the adjuster, leave a voicemail, tell him or her that you didn't get your check, leave your claim number, and ideally you'll get a response. I would say probably the best bet would be to leave a message on one day. If a day or two goes by and you don't hear anything else or hear any response, call and leave another voicemail. Write down in your notes the dates that you called so that you can document those. And then if you don't get a response after that second phone call, probably the best thing to do is to file a declaration of readiness to proceed. So what type of DOR or declaration of readiness to proceed you file depends on what check is late. If it is medical mileage, that type of check, it tends to run very slow. It can take a couple of months before they send that check out. So you'll have to wait a while for that. And if it's still, let's say 3 months have gone by, you can file a DOR for a status conference or for an MSC, a mandatory settlement conference. And you're going to list in the box on that DOR the attempts that you made to resolve the issue. So you will note, let's say medical mileage was sent to the adjuster on April 15. It's now been 3 months. There's been no payment. I left messages for the adjuster on, let's say, August 1st and August 4th. I have not received a phone call back. That will be good enough. It lays out the dispute. Most of the time, if you file that type of a DOR, the adjuster is going to say, oh my gosh, and get a payment out, because the adjuster doesn't want to either send the file to a defense firm to make the appearance, or they don't want to have to appear in front of the judge and explain why they didn't issue a payment. So that would be for medical mileage. If it's a permanent disability advance, if those just stopped for no reason, again, you can file a DOR just for a status conference or an MSC. If it's temporary disability, so they've been paying temporary disability every 2 weeks, you always get a check on Monday, and the checks suddenly stop. You haven't gone back to work. You haven't reached, let's say, 2 years of temporary disability, and you can't get a response. In that case, you would file a DOR to an expedited hearing. We have another video that covers just that type of pleading and that type of expedited hearing, because that will get you to the board more quickly, and it will also get you right to a trial on the issue. But I will say again that most of the time, if there's no good reason that the check stopped, usually the insurance adjuster will panic to some degree when they get your DOR, and they'll issue a check, and it will fix the problem. So that's really what you can do. If you're not getting a check, you expected to get one, call, leave a couple of messages, document the dates that you called, and if there's still no response, file a DOR, either for an expedited hearing or for a status conference or an MSC. And then we'll have another video on penalties, because if they do realize the mistake and they do issue a check to you, they need to include self-imposed penalties on top of that. We'll talk about that in another video.